Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about something that's often overlooked, yet profoundly felt loneliness, particularly as experienced by a woman without friends. In a world that glorifies social circles, parties, and endless online connections, the idea of being alone, friendless even, can feel like an invisible burden. But let's pause for a moment and truly understand what this means and what it could mean. The notion that solitude equals emptiness is a profound misconception rooted in our societal conditioning. From a young age, we're taught to believe that our worth and fulfillment come from relationships, from being surrounded by others who validate our existence. Yet, what if solitude is not a void to be filled, but a space to be cherished? In solitude, there's a freedom from the constant need to engage, to entertain, to impress. We are often so caught up in the noise and movement of life that the stillness, the silence, feels unsettling. But it is in this stillness that we encounter the true self, unencumbered by the labels and roles society assigns to us. Alone, without the influence of friends or companions, we begin to shed the masks we wear, layer by layer, and discover a deeper, rawer version of ourselves. This emptiness that solitude is so often accused of isn't emptiness at all. It's the spaciousness of being. It's a realm of potential, a place where thoughts, feelings, and insights emerge from a quieter, more contemplative part of us. In solitude, we create room for our innermost thoughts, a chance to listen to the whispers of intuition that are often drowned out by the opinions and judgments of others. It's like walking into a vast, open landscape within ourselves, where we can observe the ebb and flow of our emotions, our desires, and our fears without interference. Solitude doesn't mean cutting oneself off from the world. It's a conscious turning inward. The self as the ultimate companion is a concept that challenges one of our deepest cultural beliefs that we need others to feel complete, that our sense of wholeness depends on companionship, validation, and social bonds. But when we examine this assumption, we see that it comes from a place of fear, the fear of being alone with ourselves, of meeting the depths of who we truly are. For many, this solitude is uncomfortable, even unsettling, because it removes the distractions of external relationships and forces us to look inward, to confront the person within. When a person stands alone, they are given an extraordinary opportunity to learn to befriend themselves in a way that no external relationship can substitute. There's a depth and richness to this self-companionship, but it requires courage to uncover. For in solitude, there is no one else to project our insecurities onto, no one to validate or invalidate our thoughts. Instead, we are left with a blank canvas, an invitation to see ourselves as we are, stripped of pretenses and social expectations. This relationship with oneself is both nurturing and challenging. Without the need to accommodate or compromise for others, we can discover what truly fulfills us, what brings us joy, and what brings us peace. In a world driven by social influence, it's rare to have the space to explore these questions without interference. This self-companionship allows us to delve into our unique essence, to explore desires, dreams, and insights that may have been buried under the layers of what others wanted for us, or what society deemed acceptable. We start to find that we hold a wealth of thoughts, perspectives, and feelings that have been waiting to be heard, like a friend who has been sitting patiently, ready to share wisdom. Learning to be our own best companion also builds an extraordinary resilience. In the company of others, we often find security in their presence, a sense of comfort in shared experiences and mutual understanding. But this reliance can become a crutch, leaving us vulnerable when that external support is taken away. When we turn to ourselves as the primary source of comfort, we become anchored in our own strength. We learn that we are capable of weathering storms on our own, that we can soothe ourselves in times of sorrow and celebrate in times of joy without needing someone else's approval. This self-reliance brings a kind of independence that is profoundly liberating. Rather than feeling lost or incomplete without others, we come to see ourselves as whole. This wholeness doesn't mean we're closed off from others or indifferent to connection. Rather, it allows us to approach relationships from a place of abundance, rather than need. We don't seek friendships or partnerships to fill a void within us. Instead, we can enjoy them for the beauty they bring without clinging or fearing loss. Our happiness, our peace is no longer at the mercy of external relationships. As we journey deeper into self-companionship, we begin to realize that the relationship we cultivate with ourselves can be just as dynamic and fulfilling as any friendship. We can learn to be gentle with ourselves in moments of weakness, to celebrate our victories, and to forgive ourselves when we fall short. And just like in any relationship, there is room for growth. We can set goals, challenge ourselves, and strive to become the person we aspire to be. The difference is that this journey is guided by our own inner compass, rather than the expectations or judgments of others. There is a profound joy in discovering that we are our own source of happiness. When we become our own companion, we find that we are never truly alone. We carry within us a wellspring of love, wisdom, and strength that cannot be shaken by the comings and goings of others. This realization transforms loneliness from something to fear into a space where we can cultivate a sense of inner sanctuary. We learn to embrace the quiet moments, to find beauty in the stillness, and to appreciate the boundless company of our own thoughts. In this way, the self becomes not only our closest companion, but also our teacher, our healer, and our guide. We discover that everything we were searching for externally is something we can give to ourselves. And in doing so, we realize that the presence of the self, cultivated through patience and understanding, is a constant companion, a source of comfort that is always within reach. Freedom from social expectations is a rare liberation that allows us to explore life on our own terms, unhindered by the opinions, judgments, and assumptions of others. So often our lives are shaped by the subtle and not so subtle pressures to fit in, to be liked, to succeed according to society standards. We're taught from an early age to follow a path that others have laid out for us, a path that promises safety and acceptance, but often comes at the expense of our authenticity. Breaking free from these expectations requires courage, but it also opens up a world where we can truly be ourselves. Consider how much of our identity can be molded by what we think others want from us. We dress a certain way, speak a certain way, pursue particular careers, and engage in certain activities, often because it's what's expected, not because it's what we genuinely desire. We may be afraid that by stepping outside of these norms, we'll be criticized or misunderstood, that we'll be labeled different or selfish or even lost. This fear of being judged can create a powerful pull to conform, to stay in line, and to sacrifice parts of ourselves simply to feel accepted. But the cost of this is often a deep sense of deception, a feeling that we're living someone else's life instead of our own. When we start to recognize and question these social expectations, we take the first step toward freedom. We begin to realize that many of these shoulds we follow are arbitrary, rooted in traditions and values that may not even resonate with us. We start to understand that the opinions of others, while loud, do not define us. By shedding these external standards, we make room to explore our own values, our own passions, and our own vision of what a meaningful life looks like. One of the greatest gifts of freeing ourselves from social expectations is the chance to redefine success and happiness in our own terms. Society often dictates that success is found in wealth, fame, and status, but what if success for us is something quieter? What if it's the joy of pursuing a passion, the fulfillment of personal growth, or the peace of living a balanced life? By rejecting the one-size-fits-all definition of success, we open ourselves to paths that may not be recognized or celebrated by others, yet are deeply meaningful to us. This redefinition allows us to live authentically, without the constant need to measure up to external standards. Moreover, freedom from social expectations brings a kind of creative license that few experience. Without the pressure to conform, we can take risks, try new things, and express ourselves in ways that are truly unique. We can explore careers, hobbies, and ideas that might seem unconventional, embracing the journey for its own sake, rather than for the validation it may bring. This creative freedom nourishes our spirit, allowing us to grow in ways that are natural and fulfilling. We become creators of our lives rather than merely following a script written by others. This liberation also impacts our relationships. When we free ourselves from social expectations, we are no longer driven to seek approval from others. Our relationships become less about validation and more about genuine connection. We start to attract people who appreciate us for who we are rather than for how well we fit into societal molds. There's a profound honesty that emerges in our interaction, the sense of showing up as we are, without the need to perform or pretend. This authenticity enriches our bonds, allowing us to connect on a deeper level, without the masks and facades that arise when we're trying to meet external expectations. Freedom from social expectations can also deepen our relationship with ourselves. When we let go of the need to please others, we begin to listen more closely to our own desires, our own intuition. We start to ask questions like, what do I want from life? What brings me joy? What values truly matter to me? By tuning into these inner voices, we forge a path that feels true to who we are, rather than one that merely checks the boxes that society has laid out for us. This journey of self-discovery is an ever-evolving one, where we continuously learn, grow, and redefine what matters on our own terms. This freedom does not mean isolating ourselves or disregarding the value of community and connection. It simply means that our choices are no longer dictated by the need to fit in or live up to others' ideals. It means we can stand firmly in our own truth, open to the beauty of diversity in thought, action, and being. This kind of self-possession is a powerful foundation for living an authentic life. We no longer feel the anxiety of keeping up or the insecurity of being different. Instead, we find strength in our uniqueness, seeing it not as a flaw but as a vital part of who we are. Solitude as a path to spiritual insight is a journey that transcends the ordinary need for social connection, bringing us to a place of profound self-discovery and awareness. In a world that often prizes constant interaction, productivity, and social validation, solitude can feel like a radical departure from the norm. But this separation from the outside world, far from isolating us, can lead us into a deeper connection with something much larger, a connection to the inner self, and ultimately to the universe itself. When we willingly enter solitude, we step away from the distractions of daily life, giving ourselves the rare opportunity to listen, observe, and be fully present. In solitude, we are no longer consumed by the opinions and expectations of others. The space we create in this silence is where we can hear our own voice with clarity, a voice that is often drowned out by the noise of societal pressures, roles, and obligations. When the outer world falls away, we confront the essence of who we are, beyond the titles we carry or the roles we play. One allows for a certain vulnerability that is both humbling and transformative. This process is not always comfortable. In fact, solitude can initially bring us face to face with parts of ourselves we may have ignored or suppressed. Yet it is in this encounter with our own depths that spiritual insight begins to emerge. The act of being without the constant reinforcement of others' ideas and judgments, we become our own witness, observing our thoughts, emotions, and patterns as they arise and dissolve. This mindful observation often leads to the realization that we are not just the passing thoughts and feelings we experience, but something deeper, something timeless. In this way, solitude offers a gateway to understanding our true nature, the awareness that underlies all our experiences. This awareness is often described in spiritual traditions as a fundamental unity, a recognition that the boundaries we perceive between ourselves and the world are, in many ways, an illusion. When we explore this idea further, solitude becomes a practice of shedding layers, of removing the masks we wear in our daily lives. In our alone time, there is no one to impress, no one to fear, no one to please. We are left with only ourselves and the quiet awareness that lies within. This inner stillness can awaken us to insights that seem simple yet profound, like the realization that peace, joy, and wisdom are not dependent on external circumstances, but arise naturally when we are in harmony with ourselves. Solitude allows us to tap into this inner source, drawing spiritual sustenance from within rather than relying on external validation. Solitude also deepens our relationship with the present moment, an essential aspect of spiritual awareness. In solitude, there is no future to plan for, no past to dwell upon, only the present moment unfolding in all its simplicity. This shift in awareness teaches us to experience life fully, not through the lens of expectations or memories, but through direct, immediate perception. In this state of heightened presence, even the most ordinary aspects of life take on a new significance. A quiet room, a tree outside the window, the sound of one's breath, all become opportunities to connect with the sacred nature of existence, the wonder that lies in simply being. Many spiritual traditions have long recognized the power of solitude, from monks in remote monasteries to mystics retreating into nature. This withdrawal from the outer world is not a rejection of life, but a deeper embrace of it. By turning inward, we cultivate an inner space where insight, intuition, and wisdom can arise organically. In solitude, there is no need to seek enlightenment from outside sources. We find that everything we need for spiritual awakening is already within us, waiting to be discovered. This realization fosters a sense of peace and contentment, a knowing that we are part of something greater than ourselves, a boundless, interconnected universe. In solitude, we also encounter a sense of humility. As we sit alone with our thoughts and feelings, we come to see the vastness of the unknown, the mysteries that lie beyond human comprehension. This humility dissolves the ego's need for control and certainty, opening us to the flow of life as it is. When we stop trying to control our experiences, we become open vessels, receptive to the wisdom that arises spontaneously in moments of silence. We learn to surrender, to let go of rigid beliefs, and to trust the unfolding of our own journey. This surrender is not a giving up, but a profound act of acceptance, a recognition that life, in its infinite wisdom, has a rhythm and flow that surpasses our limited understanding. Ultimately, solitude as a path to spiritual insight is not about escaping the world, but about returning to it with a new perspective. Through this inward journey, we gain a greater sense of interconnectedness, of belonging to something vast and mysterious. We come to see ourselves not as separate individuals struggling to find meaning, but as integral parts of a cosmic whole. In this way, solitude becomes a bridge, reconnecting us to the sacredness of existence, the beauty of being alive, and the wonder of our own consciousness. The nature of connection extends far beyond the boundaries of conventional friendships and social bonds. While friendships are often cherished as the primary source of companionship and belonging, connection itself is a much broader and deeper phenomenon. True connection is not confined to the people in our lives. It is a feeling, a resonance that links us to the world around us, to life itself, and to the quiet, often unnoticed rhythms of existence. By expanding our understanding of connection beyond the need for friendships, we unlock the potential to experience a vast and sustaining bond with all things, a bond that nourishes our spirit in ways that human relationships alone cannot. One of the most profound aspects of this wider connection is our relationship with nature. Nature offers a form of companionship that requires no words, no explanations, no conditions. Walking through a forest, feeling the wind against our face, hearing the rustling of leaves, or watching the waves roll in from the shore, we tap into an ancient form of connection that transcends human interaction. This is a connection that reminds us of our place in the world, of our kinship with all living things, and of the quiet yet powerful force that animates the earth. In these moments, we realize that we are not separate from nature, but an integral part of it, a realization that fills us with a sense of unity and belonging. In addition to nature, we also find profound connection in art, music, literature, and other forms of creative expression. These mediums allow us to transcend the limits of our individual experiences and connect with the thoughts, emotions, and visions of others, often across vast distances and even across time. A piece of music, for instance, can stir emotions that feel deeply personal, yet universal, a reminder that we share an inner world of feeling with countless others. Art enables us to step into the minds and hearts of others, to see the world through different eyes, and in doing so, we find a bridge that connects us, even if we never meet the artist or fellow admirers. This connection to human creativity transcends the need for personal friendships by offering a shared collective experience that unites us in a web of expression and understanding. Spirituality, too, offers a form of connection that goes beyond personal relationships. Many spiritual traditions teach that all beings are connected, that the essence of each person is part of a greater, unified whole. This understanding of interconnectedness allows us to feel a kinship with others, regardless of whether we know them. Through spirituality, we develop a sense of compassion and empathy that is not limited to friends and loved ones, but extends to all of humanity, and even to all living things. This bond is less about direct interaction and more about a shared essence, a recognition of the unity that underlies diversity. When we feel this spiritual connection, we are never truly alone, because we sense that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. Our relationship with ourselves is another aspect of connection that often goes unappreciated but is crucial to a fulfilling life. Self-connection is not merely self-reflection, it is a deeper understanding and acceptance of who we are, with all our complexities, strengths, and vulnerabilities. When we cultivate a strong connection with ourselves, we are able to find companionship and comfort within, reducing the reliance on external friendships to validate our worth or provide fulfillment. This internal bond provides a solid foundation upon which other connections can build, allowing us to relate to others from a place of wholeness rather than need. In nurturing self-connection, we create a sense of inner peace and resilience, an awareness that we carry a constant source of companionship within us. Animals, too, offer a unique form of connection that is often simpler and purer than human relationships. Many people experience deep companionship with pets or feel a connection to animals in nature, whether through direct interaction or simply observing them. Animals engage with us in ways that are free from the complexities of human social structures. They offer companionship without judgment, presence without distraction, and a love that is untainted by expectations. This connection can be a source of profound joy and healing, a reminder of the innocence and purity that still exist in the world, and a bridge that connects us to life in its rawest, most authentic form. There is a form of connection that arises simply from being present in the world, from observing and appreciating the beauty, the mystery, and the endless variety of life. This connection does not require us to know or be known by anyone else. It is the feeling we get when we watch a sunset, when we hear the sound of rain, when we look up at the stars and feel a quiet sense of awe. These moments remind us that connection does not always need to be personal or relational. It can be an experience of being part of the universe, of witnessing the intricate dance of existence, of feeling a sense of unity with everything around us. A connection beyond friendship can be found in our contributions to the world. When we devote ourselves to a cause, when we create something meaningful, when we give of ourselves to help others, we establish a connection that is both purposeful and transcendent. This connection is not dependent on the feedback or approval of others. It is a quiet fulfillment that comes from knowing we are making a positive impact, that we are part of something greater than ourselves. This sense of purpose binds us to humanity and to future generations, offering a feeling of continuity and legacy that extends beyond individual relationships. By expanding our view of connection, we come to see that we are surrounded by a web of relationships that do not depend on friendships alone. We begin to appreciate the myriad ways we are connected to the world, to others, and to the vastness of existence. In this way, connection becomes a state of being, a deep awareness of our place in the universe, a constant reminder that we are never truly separate. Strength born of self-reliance is a quiet, enduring power, cultivated not by the validation or support of others, but by one's own inner resolve. In a world we are often encouraged to look outside ourselves for guidance, security, and approval, self-reliance can be a radical act, a choice to trust in our own abilities and instincts. To be self-reliant is not to be isolated or disconnected, rather. It is to root one's confidence and strength in an unwavering belief that we are enough, that we have within us all we need to face life's challenges and create a meaningful existence. When we develop self-reliance, we gain a resilience that does not depend on the presence or opinions of others. This resilience becomes a source of calm and stability, enabling us to stand firm in times of uncertainty, adversity, and change. Life is inherently unpredictable, filled with obstacles and unexpected turns, and while external support is valuable, it is our own inner strength that ultimately allows us to navigate these moments with courage. Self-reliance teaches us to draw from a wellspring of strength within ourselves, a strength that is always present, even when circumstances are difficult and friends or family may not be able to help. In building self-reliance, we also cultivate a deep trust in ourselves. This trust is essential because it means that we become our own source of encouragement and guidance, able to make decisions confidently without constantly seeking approval or reassurance from others. When we rely on ourselves, we learn to face our fears and doubts directly, acknowledging our vulnerabilities without letting them define us. We come to understand that the true measure of strength is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward in spite of it, to hold faith in our own capacity to grow, adapt, and overcome. Self-reliance does not mean shutting out the world or rejecting help when it is needed, rather. It means knowing that ultimately we are responsible for our own happiness and well-being. By fostering self-reliance, we stop depending on others to make us feel complete or fulfilled. We realize that we are not lacking, that we do not need someone else to complete us or validate our worth. This independence frees us from a cycle of need and dependency, allowing us to form relationships from a place of abundance rather than emptiness. When we are self-reliant, we bring strength to our connections with others, rather than leaning on them as a source of strength. This inner strength also makes us more adaptable. Life rarely goes according to plan, and those who rely solely on others or on specific outcomes often find themselves disoriented when things fall apart. A self-reliant person, however, is better equipped to adapt because they trust their own ability to find solutions, to make decisions, and to navigate the unknown. This adaptability is a gift of self-reliance. It enables us to embrace change rather than fear it, to see challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to grow and learn. We become more resilient, able to bounce back from setbacks with greater ease, because we know that our strength comes from within and cannot be taken away by external circumstances. Self-reliance also fosters a kind of creative freedom. When we trust in ourselves, we feel empowered to pursue our dreams and aspirations without being constrained by the expectations of others. We begin to act not out of a need for approval, but out of a desire to live authentically, to explore our potential, and to express who we truly are. This creative freedom is a powerful force that propels us forward, giving us the courage to take risks and the resilience to learn from failure without losing our sense of self-worth. Self-reliance turns life into a canvas on which we are free to paint our own vision, guided by our own intuition and dreams. As we embrace self-reliance, we also develop a sense of inner peace. This peace comes from knowing that we can rely on ourselves, that we are not at the mercy of others' opinions or expectations. We become less reactive, less affected by the ups and downs of external circumstances, because our sense of self is rooted in our own inner strength. This peace is a form of liberation, allowing us to live without constantly seeking approval or fearing rejection. It gives us the freedom to be who we are, unapologetically, and to live with a sense of authenticity and confidence that does not waver in the face of criticism or doubt. In self-reliance, we find a unique strength that is both empowering and grounding. It allows us to face life's challenges with a calm resolve, knowing that, no matter what happens, we have the resources within ourselves to navigate, adapt, and thrive. This inner strength is a gift we give to ourselves, a reminder that we are our own greatest ally, and that we carry within us all we need to walk our path with courage, resilience, and integrity. The strength born of self-reliance is, in many ways, the truest form of empowerment, for it is a strength that cannot be shaken, a foundation that remains steady through all of life's storms and uncertainties. Honoring the solitary path is an act of embracing the unique journey of self-discovery that solitude offers. In a society that often values connection and constant interaction, choosing or accepting solitude can be a powerful declaration of independence, a choice to walk one's own path without the need for validation or companionship. This path is not about isolating oneself from the world, but rather about creating space to explore, to listen, and to truly come to understand one's own nature. Honoring this path means recognizing the strength, wisdom, and growth that come from solitude and treating it as a sacred journey, one that allows for profound transformation and self-realization. Walking the solitary path requires courage because it often involves facing aspects of ourselves we might otherwise avoid. Without the distractions of social life and constant engagement with others, we are left alone with our thoughts, our doubts, and our fears. These moments of solitude can feel uncomfortable at first, but they are also the gateways to deeper understanding. Solitude provides the time and space necessary to process our experiences, reflect on our values, and confront our inner landscape honestly. When we honor the solitary path, we learn to trust that this confrontation with ourselves is a necessary step in personal growth, a way to strip away the layers of conditioning and expectation that often obscure our true selves. In solitude, we are free to explore our inner world without interference. This space allows us to reconnect with our intuition, our creative impulses, and our authentic desires. Many people find that their most profound insights and inspirations arise during periods of solitude, when they can reflect without outside influence. Creativity often flourishes when we are alone, as we are free to let our thoughts and ideas flow without fear of judgment or the need for approval. Honoring the solitary path means valuing this creative freedom and understanding that solitude is not a void but a fertile ground for imagination, insight, and innovation. It is in these moments of quiet introspection that we gain clarity on who we are and what we wish to bring into the world. The solitary path is also a path of self-empowerment. In solitude, we learn to rely on ourselves, to make our own decisions, and to stand by our own choices. This self-reliance is a source of strength and resilience, teaching us that we are capable of facing life's challenges without needing others to guide or support us. By walking this path, we cultivate an inner strength that does not waver in the face of adversity. We begin to realize that true empowerment comes not from external validation, but from an unwavering trust in ourselves and our abilities. When we honor the solitary path, we recognize that solitude can be a teacher, showing us how to draw from our own well of wisdom and strength. In honoring solitude, we also gain a deeper appreciation for the present moment. Without the constant stimulation of social interaction, we can fully immerse ourselves in the here and now, becoming attuned to the subtleties of life that might otherwise go unnoticed. We begin to notice the beauty and simplicity, the stillness of a quiet morning, the patterns of light and shadow, the rhythm of our own breathing. These small moments of awareness enrich our lives, reminding us that happiness and contentment are often found in the present, rather than in the pursuit of external goals or relationships. The solitary path teaches us to find joy and fulfillment within, cultivating a sense of peace and gratitude that is not dependent on external circumstances. Another gift of the solitary path is the opportunity for self-acceptance. When we are alone, we are free to observe ourselves without the distortions of comparison or the pressure to conform to social norms. In solitude, we can come to terms with our imperfections, our strengths, and our vulnerabilities. We learn to embrace our uniqueness and honor our individuality, seeing ourselves as we truly are rather than as we believe we should be. This self-acceptance fosters a sense of wholeness, allowing us to approach life with authenticity and integrity. By walking the solitary path, we learn that we are enough as we are, that our worth is not determined by our social connections, but by the relationship we cultivate with ourselves. Honoring the solitary path also means recognizing it as a journey toward spiritual insight. Many spiritual traditions view solitude as essential for enlightenment, as it allows individuals to turn inward and connect with something greater than themselves. Whether it is through meditation, reflection, or simply being present, solitude enables us to transcend the distractions of daily life and touch upon a deeper sense of unity with all existence. When we walk this path, we begin to feel a profound connection to life itself, realizing that we are part of a vast and interconnected whole. This spiritual connection brings a sense of peace, purpose, and perspective that transcends the fleeting nature of worldly concerns. Honoring the solitary path means respecting it as a choice that requires strength and commitment. In a world that often equates solitude with loneliness, choosing to walk alone can feel like going against the grain. Yet those who walk this path understand that it is not a path of isolation, but of self-discovery. It is a choice to seek deeper meaning, to cultivate inner peace, and to become one's own companion. By embracing solitude, we give ourselves the freedom to live authentically, to understand ourselves deeply, and to appreciate life in its raw, unfiltered form. The solitary path is not an escape from the world, but a journey into the depths of our own being, where true wisdom, strength, and clarity reside. In conclusion, a life lived with few or no friends is not necessarily a life of lack or loneliness. Instead, it can be a journey of profound self-discovery, resilience, and connection beyond the usual forms. Choosing solitude, or accepting it when it comes, offers us a unique strength, born from self-reliance and the quiet power of inner peace. It encourages us to honor our true selves, free from societal expectations, and to find meaning within rather than seeking it outside. By embracing solitude, we connect deeply with nature, with our own spirit, and with a broader sense of unity that transcends the limitations of conventional relationships. Honoring the solitary path allows us to cultivate insight, inner strength, and creative freedom. We realize that we are part of an interconnected whole, a universe vast and vibrant, where our individual journey has significance simply because we exist. The solitary path does not diminish the value of human connection, but it teaches us that our deepest and most enduring relationship is with ourselves. And in that relationship we find an infinite well of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. So whether we walk alone by choice or circumstance, we walk with the profound knowledge that solitude is not an absence, it is a powerful presence. It is an invitation to know ourselves, to live authentically, and to embrace life fully on our own terms. Life, in its infinite complexity, often brings us to crossroads where the way forward seems obscured. These moments can feel like insurmountable barriers, and doubt may whisper that the road ends here. Yet the truth is far more profound. In every trial there lies an invisible force, a divine intelligence, orchestrating a path that we may not yet perceive. This truth has been known to those who have dared to trust in something greater than themselves. It is not merely faith in an external power, but an inner awakening to the possibility that all things are truly working together for good. When you stand in the presence of the impossible, it is not the time to falter. It is the time to remember that there is a way unseen, but not unreal. The power that crafted the stars and set the seas in motion is no stranger to your challenges. What may seem like a closed door is, in reality, a call to rise in faith and align yourself with the divine flow of life. For those who trust, miracles are not extraordinary, they are inevitable. The path forward may not reveal itself all at once, and that is by design. It is in the waiting, the trusting, and the believing that you are being prepared for what lies ahead. The delays, the detours, and even the disappointments are not obstacles, but steps in a divine choreography that leads you to your destined outcome. God does not abandon, He rearranges, shifts, and prepares so that the way forward is perfect in its timing. Today, let us embrace the assurance that no matter the challenge, no matter the circumstance, a way will be made. The solution is not bound by human logic or limitation. It is born from the boundless creativity and power of the divine. And so, as we delve deeper, remember this: God will make a way for you. Faith is the invisible bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. It does not rely on what the physical senses perceive, but instead draws its strength from an inner conviction. When you stand at the edge of uncertainty, surrounded by circumstances that seem immovable, faith whispers that there is more to the story. It affirms that what you see is not all that there is. Faith transcends logic. It sees the unseen and claims the unseen as though it is already present. Faith is not passive, it is an active alignment with the greater possibilities of life. It is the ability to look beyond what is and connect with what can be. This connection is not made by chance or fleeting hope, but through a deliberate choice to believe in a higher power and a higher order. The power of faith lies in its ability to collapse the gap between the visible and the invisible, the possible and the impossible. It is the unshakable certainty that what you seek is already seeking you. Life often tests the endurance of faith by presenting situations that seem contrary to what you desire. In these moments, it is easy to falter and allow doubt to creep in. But faith, true faith, is not swayed by appearances. It is not concerned with the how or the when. It is rooted firmly in the conviction that the way exists, even if unseen. Faith does not waver in the face of challenges. Instead, it draws strength from them, knowing that every trial serves to fortify the belief that a solution is unfolding. Faith is more than belief, it is a state of being. It shapes how you think, how you speak, and how you act. It is a quiet assurance that permeates every aspect of your life, influencing your decisions and responses. To walk in faith is to carry an inner knowing that no matter how dire the situation, the divine hand is at work, weaving a path that leads you to your desired outcome. This knowing allows you to stand firm, even in the midst of chaos, because faith is not dependent on the evidence of the senses, but on the certainty of the unseen. The foundation of faith is trust not in what you can control, but in what is being orchestrated on your behalf. Trust does not require you to understand every step, it simply asks that you take the first one. Faith operates on this principle as you move forward. The path becomes clear. You may not see the entire journey, but you are guided step by step. This is the nature of faith. It does not demand full knowledge, but only a willingness to believe that the way will be revealed. Faith also calls for patience. The manifestation of your desires often comes through processes and timings that are beyond human comprehension. Impatience arises when you rely too heavily on the physical world to validate your belief. Faith, however, remains unshaken, even in delay. It understands that what is being prepared is greater than what could be rushed. Patience, born of faith, is not idle waiting, but an active confidence that every moment is bringing you closer to your desired outcome. Faith shifts your focus from problems to possibilities. It invites you to dwell not on what is lacking, but on what is possible. This shift is not just mental, it is vibrational. Faith aligns your inner state with the outcome you seek, creating a resonance that draws the solution toward you. When you operate from a foundation of faith, you no longer see obstacles as permanent. Instead, you recognize them as temporary illusions, easily transformed by the power of belief. Faith does not require grand gestures or perfect conditions. It begins in the smallest thoughts and grows as you nurture it. It is built moment by moment, decision by decision, thought by thought. Every time you choose to believe, despite appearances, you lay another stone in the foundation of your faith. It is a continual process, a journey of aligning more deeply with the truth that what is unseen is as real as what is seen. In the quiet moments when doubt tries to find its way in, faith remains your anchor. It reminds you that what you are experiencing is not the end of the story. The unseen forces of life are working tirelessly on your behalf, bringing together the pieces of the puzzle in ways that you cannot yet comprehend. Faith does not require proof, it creates proof. It is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the unseen thread that connects you to your desires and ensures that the way will be made clear. The circumstances, as they appear to you now, are nothing more than fleeting shadows cast by past beliefs, thoughts, and assumptions. They are not permanent, nor are they absolute. They are reflections, momentary echoes of a state of consciousness that you once held. What you see before you is not the end of the story, but a page within it. To allow circumstances to dictate your sense of what is possible is to forget the transformative power within you. You are not bound by what is, you are free to create what will be. Every great transformation begins with the understanding that circumstances are malleable. What seems immovable is not a fact but a perception, and perceptions can be reshaped. When you shift your focus from the external to the internal, you begin to see circumstances for what they truly are, temporary manifestations of a deeper reality. They are like clouds that obscure the sun, persistent, perhaps, but never permanent. Beneath them, the light remains unchanged, waiting to shine through. Circumstances often appear overwhelming because they carry the weight of collective belief. Society conditions us to accept appearances as truth, to bow to what is visible and measurable. Yet, appearances are not the full picture, they are merely the surface. Beneath every difficulty lies a solution, and within every challenge resides an opportunity. Circumstances are not your master, they are your canvas. What you choose to paint upon them is entirely within your power. The transient nature of circumstances becomes evident when you examine the patterns of life. Consider how often situations that once seemed insurmountable eventually dissolved or transformed. Problems that once consumed your thoughts faded into memory, replaced by new realities. This constant flow of change is proof that nothing in the external world is fixed. What appears solid is, in truth, in a state of flux, responding to unseen forces and internal shifts. It is vital to understand that circumstances gain their power only from the meaning you assign to them. When you see them as barriers, they become barriers. When you view them as stepping stones, they transform into opportunities. The lens through which you perceive your reality determines the quality of your experience. This is why no circumstance, however daunting, should ever be seen as final. It is merely a chapter, and you are the author of what comes next. Circumstances test your resolve not to defeat you, but to strengthen you. They are opportunities disguised as obstacles, urging you to look beyond the surface and tap into your deeper potential. When faced with adversity, the choice is always yours to succumb to the illusion of permanence, or to rise above and rewrite the narrative. These moments of decision are where your power lies, for they determine whether you will be shaped by the external or will shape the external through your inner conviction. The world around you mirrors the world within you. If you see circumstances as immovable, it is because your belief has anchored them in place. Conversely, when you recognize their impermanence, you unlock the potential for change. The key is not to fight against what is, but to rise above it, to see it as a temporary reflection of an old state of being. When you shift your inner state, the outer world has no choice but to follow suit. Circumstances may present delays, detours, and difficulties, but they are never the final word. They are part of a process, not the conclusion. Each challenge holds within it the seed of transformation, a hidden gift that reveals itself when you refuse to accept appearances as the ultimate reality. The power of belief and imagination transcends every limitation, dissolving obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. The most significant breakthroughs often emerge from the most challenging circumstances. It is in these moments that your true nature is revealed, not as a passive observer of life, but as an active creator of it. The external world bends and reshapes itself in response to the clarity and strength of your inner vision. When you hold fast to the truth that circumstances are not final, you unleash a power that no obstacle can withstand. Even the most seemingly fixed situations are subject to change. What appears as a mountain today may be a mere pebble tomorrow, eroded by the persistence of faith and the constancy of inner alignment. Life is dynamic, ever-changing, and responsive to the intentions you set and the beliefs you hold. Circumstances are but a temporary reflection of your consciousness, waiting to be transformed by the light of your inner conviction. The power to transform any situation lies within the clarity of your imagination. To visualize the solution is to see beyond the problem and bring into focus the outcome you desire. This is not mere wishful thinking, it is an intentional act of creation. The mind does not differentiate between what is vividly imagined and what is physically real. When you consistently hold the image of the solution, you activate unseen forces that begin to align the circumstances of your life with your vision. Visualization is not about escaping reality, it is about redefining it. The process requires you to detach from the present limitations and fix your inner gaze on what could be. By doing so, you are not denying the challenges, but transcending them. The act of visualizing a solution calls forth a higher level of awareness, one that operates beyond logic and limitation. In this elevated state, the impossible becomes plausible, and the unseen begins to take shape. The key to effective visualization lies in specificity and emotion. The clearer the picture you hold in your mind, the more powerful its influence on your external reality. Vague images produce vague results, but a vivid and detailed vision becomes a blueprint for manifestation. Add to this the power of feeling emotion as the fuel that energizes your vision. When you imagine the solution as if it has already occurred and infuse it with the feelings of joy, relief, and gratitude, you set a powerful creative process into motion. Visualization works because it communicates directly with the subconscious mind, the seat of your deepest beliefs and assumptions. The subconscious does not question, it simply accepts what is consistently presented to it. By repeatedly visualizing the solution, you are impressing a new reality upon your inner self. Over time, this reality becomes so dominant within you that it begins to shape your thoughts, words, and actions, bringing you into alignment with the outcome you desire. The practice of visualization requires discipline and focus. It is not enough to think casually about what you want, you must see it with unwavering attention. Close your eyes and create a mental movie where you are already experiencing the solution. See every detail, hear the sounds, and feel the emotions associated with your success. Let the vision be so vivid that it feels more real than your current circumstances. The more you immerse yourself in this inner experience, the stronger its pull on your outer reality. Obstacles may arise during this process, often in the form of doubt or distraction. The mind, conditioned by past experiences and current circumstances, may resist the new vision. This resistance is natural, but it does not need to hold power over you. When doubt arises, return to your vision. Strengthen it, make it brighter and more detailed. Reaffirm that what you are visualizing is not a mere possibility, but a certainty. The act of repeatedly returning to your vision builds mental and emotional resilience, allowing you to remain focused despite external challenges. Visualization is not limited to moments of stillness or meditation. It is a way of living. Carry the image of your solution with you throughout the day. Let it guide your thoughts and actions, infusing every decision with purpose and clarity. When faced with choices, ask yourself which option aligns with the vision you are holding. This practice keeps you aligned with your desired outcome, ensuring that your energy and attention remain directed toward its realization. As you persist in visualizing the solution, subtle shifts begin to occur. You may notice ideas, opportunities, or connections appearing seemingly out of nowhere. These are not coincidences, they are the external manifestations of the inner reality you have cultivated. The more you nurture your vision, the more tangible these manifestations become, until the line between imagination and reality dissolves entirely. The process of visualization is a dialogue between your inner world and the external world. By seeing the solution clearly within, you are sending a message to the universe about what you intend to experience. The universe, in turn, responds by rearranging circumstances to match your vision. This is the natural law at work, a harmonious interplay between thought and manifestation. The solution you seek already exists in potential form. Your role is to bring it into focus through the power of your imagination. Even when the outer circumstances seem unchanged, trust that your visualization is working. The unseen forces of life are aligning behind the scenes, preparing the way for your vision to materialize. Consistency is key. Return to your vision daily, and with each repetition, your belief in its reality grows stronger. Over time, what was once a mere image in your mind becomes the lived experience of your reality. Through visualization, you claim the power to shape your life, not as it is, but as it is meant to be. To release control is not to abandon your desires, but to trust in the greater intelligence that governs all creation. There is an effortless rhythm to life, a flow that carries all things toward their perfect fulfillment. When you try to control every detail, you resist this natural flow. The act of controlling arises from fear, a belief that you must force outcomes to ensure their arrival. But in truth, the very energy of control creates resistance, slowing the manifestation of what you seek. Letting go is not about giving up, it is about aligning with the ease and harmony of life's unfolding. When you hold too tightly to a specific outcome or path, you limit the infinite possibilities available to you. The mind, conditioned by the physical senses, often cannot comprehend the myriad ways in which your desires can manifest. What appears as the logical or obvious solution may not be the best or fastest route. By releasing control, you open the door to possibilities that exceed your imagination. Trust that the unseen forces working on your behalf have a vantage point far beyond your immediate understanding. Embracing flow begins with a shift in focus. Rather than obsessing over when or how your desires will unfold, redirect your energy toward the present moment. Life operates in the now, not in the future or the past. When you immerse yourself fully in the here and now, you align with the natural rhythm of creation. In this state of presence, you become a co-creator rather than a controller, allowing life to unfold in its perfect timing and form. Releasing control does not mean abandoning effort or action. It means acting from a place of trust rather than fear. Inspired action flows naturally when you are in alignment with your desires. These actions feel effortless, guided by an inner knowing rather than external pressure. When you release control, you move with the current rather than against it, conserving your energy and amplifying your results. Every step feels purposeful, not burdensome, because it is aligned with the flow of life. The need to control often stems from a lack of faith in the process. It is a form of a resistance born out of impatience or doubt. Yet when you observe the natural world, you see that everything operates in perfect order without force or strain. Rivers do not push against their banks, they flow effortlessly toward their destination. Trees do not struggle to grow, they simply respond to the conditions around them, reaching toward the light. You, too, are part of this natural order. When you release control, you align with the same effortless flow that governs all creation. Releasing control requires cultivating trust, not only in life but also in yourself. Trust that you have planted the seed of your desire through your intentions and visualizations. Trust that the universe has heard your request and is already orchestrating its fulfillment. Trust that you are capable of recognizing and acting on opportunities when they arise. This trust creates a sense of peace, freeing you from the anxiety and tension that come with trying to force outcomes. Resistance often arises when the external world does not immediately reflect your inner vision. The mind may interpret delays or detours as failures, prompting you to cling even more tightly to control. But delays are not denials, they are part of the process. When you embrace flow, you understand that every apparent setback is a stepping stone, redirecting you toward a greater outcome than you initially imagined. The path may not always be linear, but it is always purposeful. Letting go of control does not mean surrendering to chaos, it means surrendering to order. It is an acknowledgement that there is a higher intelligence at work, one that knows the most harmonious and efficient way to bring your desires to fruition. This intelligence operates through synchronicity, aligning people, events, and circumstances in ways that cannot be orchestrated through effort alone. By releasing control, you allow this intelligence to work on your behalf, guiding you toward your desired outcome with ease and grace. The flow of life is like a river, always moving, always carrying you forward. When you resist, you expend energy fighting against the current, delaying your progress. When you release control and embrace flow, you allow the current to carry you effortlessly toward your destination. This does not mean passivity, it means participation. You are not swept away by the flow, but guided by it, trusting that it will take you exactly where you need to be. When you embrace flow, you begin to notice the subtle signs and signals that guide your journey. Opportunities arise, doors open, and synchronicities appear, confirming that you are on the right path. These moments of alignment are not random, they are the result of your willingness to let go and trust the process. They are reminders that life is always conspiring in your favor, even when it appears otherwise. The flow is always present, always moving, always carrying you toward the fulfillment of your desires. Doubt is a natural part of the journey toward any significant goal or desire. It whispers questions like, what if it doesn't happen, or am I even capable of these thoughts, though unsettling, are not an indication of failure, but a sign of growth. They arise as the old beliefs, conditioned by past limitations, come into conflict with the new reality you are creating. To persist through doubts is to stand firm in your conviction, even when appearances seem to contradict your vision. It is a testament to your inner strength and faith. Doubt often gains its power from your focus. When you give your energy and attention to doubts, they expand, creating a fog that obscures your vision. Instead of engaging with these thoughts, observe them without judgment. Acknowledge their presence, but refuse to let them dictate your actions or derail your progress. By doing so, you rob doubt of its influence, allowing your inner belief to remain unshaken. The ability to persist lies in understanding that doubts are temporary and powerless unless you give them weight. Persistence through doubt is not about suppressing or ignoring negative thoughts, it is about choosing a higher perspective. Recognize that doubt is often a reflection of your subconscious mind clinging to the familiar. The mind, by its nature, seeks safety in what is known and predictable. Your dreams and desires, however, call you to step into the unknown, to expand beyond the boundaries of your current reality. Doubt arises as a defense mechanism, not to stop you, but to challenge you to grow stronger in your belief. Every great achievement has been met with moments of doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who falter lies in persistence. Success requires you to continue moving forward, even when the path is unclear or the outcome seems distant. Doubt may cause you to question, but it does not have the power to stop you unless you allow it. By persisting through doubt, you prove to yourself and the world that your vision is stronger than your fears. One way to overcome doubt is to reconnect with the original spark of your desire. Remind yourself why you began this journey in the first place. What inspired you to dream of this outcome? What emotions did you feel when you first imagined it as possible? Revisit those feelings often, allowing them to reignite your passion and purpose. The clarity of your why can serve as a powerful anchor, grounding you when doubt tries to pull you off course. Persistence also requires patience. Doubt often arises from the mind's fixation on time, wondering why results are not yet visible. The creative process operates on its own timeline, one that is often beyond human comprehension. Trust that every step, every delay, and even every obstacle is part of the unfolding of your vision. Patience allows you to stay the course, knowing that what you seek is already on its way, even if it is not yet apparent. Another key to persisting through doubt is to take small, consistent actions. Action reinforces belief. Each step you take, no matter how small, sends a message to your subconscious that you are committed to your vision. These actions build momentum, gradually dissolving doubt as you see evidence of progress. Even in the face of uncertainty, act as if your desired outcome is inevitable. This mindset not only strengthens your faith but also keeps you moving forward. Surrounding yourself with positivity can also help you persist through doubt. The words you hear, the environment you inhabit, and the people you engage with all influence your mental state. Seek out inspiration from books, speeches, or mentors who have walked a similar path. Their stories of triumph over doubt can remind you that you are not alone in your struggles. Moreover, being in the company of supportive and like-minded individuals can bolster your confidence and help you stay focused on your goals. Doubt may also serve as a teacher if you approach it with curiosity rather than fear. Ask yourself, what is this doubt trying to show me? It may reveal areas where your belief needs strengthening or aspects of your plan that require adjustment. Instead of resisting doubt, use it as an opportunity for self-reflection and growth. By facing it head-on, you transform it from a barrier into a stepping stone. The persistence required to overcome doubt ultimately builds resilience. Each time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen your inner resolve. This resilience becomes a valuable asset, not only in achieving your current goal, but in every aspect of your life. It equips you to face future challenges with courage and confidence, knowing that you have already overcome the most formidable obstacle, your own uncertainty. Life communicates with you constantly, offering signs to guide your steps and affirm your path. These signs are not random occurrences, they are responses to the intentions and energy you emit. When you set a clear intention, the universe begins to align circumstances, people, and opportunities to bring your desires to fruition. Signs are the evidence of this alignment, gently nudging you forward and offering reassurance during moments of doubt or uncertainty. To recognize and follow these signs is to dance in harmony with the rhythm of creation. The first step in noticing signs is cultivating awareness. Often the signs around you go unnoticed because your focus is consumed by worry, routine, or the noise of everyday life. By quieting the mind and remaining present, you open yourself to the subtle language of the universe. Signs may appear as a sequence of events, a meaningful coincidence, or even a repeated phrase or symbol that captures your attention. These occurrences are not mere chance, they are deliberate messages guiding you toward your desired outcome. Each sign carries a unique significance tailored specifically to you and your journey. What may seem insignificant to another can hold profound meaning for you because of your personal context and intentions. For example, a number that frequently appears, a song that plays at just the right moment, or a conversation overheard can serve as a gentle reminder that you are on the right track. These signs are often small, yet they carry immense power, for they connect the visible with the invisible, the seen with the unseen. Signs also serve as confirmation of your alignment with your vision. When you encounter them, it is a signal that your thoughts, feelings, and actions are resonating with the frequency of your desires. They provide a sense of encouragement, a reminder that even if the full manifestation of your goal has not yet materialized, progress is being made. This reassurance can be invaluable, especially during moments of doubt or frustration, reaffirming that your efforts are not in vain. While signs can guide you, they do not dictate the path you must take. They are not commands, but invitations to trust in the process and stay attuned to the unfolding of your journey. They point to opportunities or shifts that may require your attention, but the ultimate choice of how to respond rests with you. This balance between noticing signs and exercising your free will is where your creative power truly flourishes. Interpreting signs requires intuition and discernment. The mind may attempt to rationalize or dismiss them, especially if they seem illogical or unrelated to your current circumstances. However, your inner knowing, the quiet voice of intuition, often recognizes the significance of a sign before the logical mind does. Trusting this inner guidance allows you to perceive connections that might otherwise go unnoticed, guiding you with clarity and purpose. Signs may also challenge you to expand your perspective. They may appear in forms that initially seem confusing or even unsettling. For example, a sudden obstacle or detour may actually be a sign redirecting you to a better path. In such moments, it is essential to remain open and flexible, trusting that every sign serves a greater purpose, even if its meaning is not immediately clear. Often, hindsight reveals the profound wisdom of these seemingly disruptive signs. One of the most beautiful aspects of signs is their ability to evoke a sense of wonder and gratitude. They remind you that you are not alone, that a greater intelligence is at work, orchestrating the details of your life with precision and care. This awareness fosters a deeper connection to the present moment, allowing you to experience the journey with a sense of joy and anticipation rather than stress or urgency. Every sign becomes a touch point, a moment of divine acknowledgement that you are seen and supported. These signs are also invitations to take inspired action. They do not merely reassure you, but also prompt you to move forward with confidence. When a door opens or an opportunity presents itself, it may be a sign urging you to step boldly into the next phase of your journey. Even if the action required seems small or insignificant, trust that it is part of the larger tapestry being woven on your behalf. Finally, signs remind you of the interconnectedness of all things. They reveal the intricate web of relationships, events, and energies that converge to bring your desires to life. Each sign is a thread in this web, weaving together your intentions with the resources and opportunities needed for their fulfillment. Recognizing this interconnectedness fosters a sense of awe and humility, deepening your trust in the process and your ability to navigate it with grace. The path to everything you seek is not something external. It begins and ends within you. You are not separate from the solutions, opportunities, or transformations you desire. The power to create, to overcome, and to manifest resides in your inner world, where thoughts, emotions, and beliefs converge to shape the outer reality. Recognizing that the way is within you is to awaken to your true potential, to understand that you are the source of all the change you wish to see. Your inner world is the foundation upon which all external manifestations are built. The beliefs you hold, the emotions you nurture, and the thoughts you entertain act as the blueprint for your experiences. When you seek solutions outside yourself, you often overlook this inner creative process. The way forward begins with self-awareness, understanding what thoughts dominate your mind and what emotions govern your state. From this awareness comes the ability to consciously choose beliefs and perspectives that align with the outcomes you desire. Within you lies an innate wisdom, a quiet knowing that can guide you through even the most uncertain circumstances. This inner wisdom, often referred to as intuition, speaks in subtle ways a gut feeling, a flash of insight, or a sense of peace about a particular direction. Unlike external advice or fleeting trends, this inner guidance is uniquely tailored to you and your journey. Trusting this voice requires courage, for it often challenges you to step beyond fear and doubt, to embrace the unknown with faith. The way within is not always about action or striving, it is also about stillness and surrender. In the stillness of the mind, the answers you seek naturally arise. When you release the need to control every detail or force outcomes, you create space for clarity and inspiration to emerge. This process of inner surrender does not mean giving up, it means letting go of resistance and aligning with the flow of life. From this place of ease, the way forward reveals itself, often in ways more profound and effortless than you could have imagined. The power within you is not limited to solving problems or achieving goals. It is the source of transformation itself. When you change your inner state, your external circumstances inevitably shift to reflect that change. If you feel stuck or overwhelmed, it is not because the path is blocked, it is because the inner alignment needs adjustment. By focusing on cultivating peace, confidence, and clarity within, you unlock the flow of opportunities and solutions in your outer world. Your imagination is one of the most powerful tools in this inner journey. It allows you to envision possibilities beyond the limitations of your current reality. By vividly imagining the outcome you desire, you activate the creative force within you, setting into motion the events and circumstances that bring your vision to life. The images you hold in your mind's eye are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious, which, when nurtured, grow into tangible experiences. Faith plays a pivotal role in discovering the way within. Faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking, it is a deep conviction that the answers and resources you need already exist within you. This faith allows you to persevere when external circumstances seem to contradict your desires. It reminds you that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and that by maintaining trust in your creative power, you can navigate any obstacle. The way within also calls for self-compassion. The journey inward can reveal fears, doubts, or limiting beliefs that may have held you back. Instead of judging or resisting these aspects of yourself, approach them with understanding and love. They are not barriers to your progress, but opportunities for healing and growth. Each step inward strengthens your connection to the infinite potential that resides within, empowering you to move forward with greater clarity and confidence. This inward journey is not about isolation or self-reliance in the traditional sense. It is about recognizing your connection to the greater whole. When you align with your inner power, you align with the universal flow of life, where synchronicities and support naturally arise. You begin to see that the way within is not separate from the way outside. It is one and the same, an integrated path where your inner and outer worlds harmoniously co-create. By turning inward, you discover not only the answers, but also the strength, creativity, and resilience to act upon them. You become attuned to the subtle shifts and signs that guide your steps, trusting in the process of creation and unfolding. Each moment spent cultivating this inner alignment brings you closer to realizing the life you envision, for the way forward is, and always has been, within you. The journey you undertake in life is not one of random events or external circumstances dictating your fate. It is a profound unfolding of your inner reality, shaped by the thoughts you think, the faith you hold, and the visions you nurture. Every obstacle is an opportunity to deepen your trust, every doubt a call to persist, and every sign a whisper from the universe that you are never alone. The way forward is not hidden, it is illuminated by the light of your belief and the power of your imagination. As you embrace the truth that God will make a way for you, remember that this way is not confined by logic or limited by circumstances. It is a path carved by infinite intelligence, a divine force working in harmony with your faith and actions. Trust the process, stay attuned to the signs, and never underestimate the transformative power within you. Your journey is a testament to what is possible when you align your inner world with the limitless possibilities of the universe. Thank you for allowing me the privilege of sharing this message with you. Your presence, your openness, and your willingness to explore the profound power within you inspire me. As you leave here today, may you carry the faith that no matter where you stand or what you face, the way is already being made for you. Trust in it, walk boldly, and let your light shine. Thank you.